Hello everyone, Peter Bom here for Australian Motorcycle News. Saturday in Sepang is done and dusted and we have a big surprise. Pecco Bagnaia is back. Pole position and winning the sprint race. We couldn't see that coming. But how did we got here? First of all, Pecco was in qualifying 1, did a really good job, went to qualifying 2, did even a better job, put it on pole position, started the race on the front row, had the whole shot, never looked back, had it completely covered. What a surprise, because like I said earlier in this video, there's so much up and down going in this year with Pecco Bagnaia since after the first half of the season. Going back to the 2024 bike and then back to the 25, half 2024 after. This for me, as far as I can see on the pictures, is a full 2024 bike. And it was you could almost literally see it happening during qualifying 1, that he suddenly started to ride the bike really convinced of his capacities, not just braking and hoping and praying that he makes it. No, he was just sure we go right, and if the bike moves underneath me, it moved, but I'll go to the right, for example. So he has a lot of self-confidence back. Him, the bike, the tires, the track gels very well. So yeah, he can win the race tomorrow as well. And then we have the whole saga is complete. Like some races he dominates, some races he's nowhere. Interesting from many points of view it is, but I still don't really understand how they got so far in a hole that he had to go out every time again on a 2025 bike that he didn't like, go back to 24, but not to complete the 24. Everybody's denying it and so on. But you know, Fabio Quartararo is the other rider that is also on the Yamaha riding so much better than the bike is at the moment. The Yamaha is not a good bike. The Ducati is a good bike, but difficult to ride well. Pecco found it again. The Yamaha is easier to ride fast, but it's just never fast enough unless it's qualifying time and Fabio Quartararo sits on it. It's just a joy to watch him, how controlled, aggressive he can be with that bike to put it on the front row, or in this case, just on the second row. But in the end, with the Yamaha, you know, he's just a sitting duck. There's such a lack of horsepower. I'll take you with me, if you follow me to the racetrack, it was the beginning of the race where Fabio Quartararo, he took 2nd or 3rd place into turn number 14, and then there is this long straight. I think that at least 2 bikes just passed him around the outside like he did, like it was a Moto2 bike. So if Fabio Quartararo wants to overtake somebody and keep that place, he has to gain that position really early in the lap, then use all the lap to get a couple of meters free space behind him, otherwise they will just draft him and kill him on the straight. That's the situation with the Yamahas. The surprise of the day obviously is Pecco Bagnaia's pole position and winning him on the 2024 bike. The good job that I've also saw today is Ducati as a factory team, because yesterday we had like 3 Ducatis in the top 10. Today we had the whole podium full with Ducati. So they put the heads together last night, made the best combination for what's possible for today and made a real step. Yamaha didn't make a real step. Aprilia, and that's a bit like disappointing, did not make a good step. Sure, they go a little bit faster than yesterday, but not the big step that you needed. So no Aprilias in qualifying too. In the end, Marco Bezzecchi came from a shitty starting position, but did quite a good race. So he ended up in 7th position. But that's for a guy that was winning a couple of races, or as a manufacturer that has such a good bike, or for a couple of GPs in a row, is just not very impressive. So that's the disappointing part, Bezzecchi and Aprilia. Morbidelli too is a rider that's not good enough here. But anyway, last couple of races, Phillip Island was a full-blown nightmare. He was okay in qualifying now. Frankie started on the front row. But if you start from the front row and you finish in P6 or 7 without any problems, that's not good enough. Not good enough also is Yamaha. The project with the V4 is just not showing enough signs of going forwards. And that's the bike that they have all their hopes up that they can use to keep Fabio convinced that he will stay with Yamaha. As it is now, here in this GP, the Yamaha in the hands of Augusto Fernandez appears slower and more on the back foot than it was in Misano at the first wildcard that he did. So that's not convincing at all. What about tomorrow's race? Well, tomorrow's race is going to be quite likely very, very different. Maybe Pecco wins it again, maybe he finishes 20, because everybody was on the soft front and the soft rear today. Soft rears apparently is sort of impossible tomorrow for the long race. And the soft front also is on the limit, especially we saw it with Pedro Acosta. Front, can't even do the sprint race. So we have a medium and a hard front tire. depending. Tomorrow's race, I expect a lot slower lap times with a medium rear tire, and it's going to be a survival of who has the best front in the end. So that's going to be more or less a typical Sepang race where the lap times will not be very, very fast, and the race will be won by the guy who has the most tires left in the last 5-6 laps, and that can be Fermin Aldeguer, because he was the only one going out for a lot of laps this morning in 3-2 on the medium rear tire and set some really good lap times with it, faster than most of the field on the S tire. So if I had to put my money on somebody for tomorrow's main race, it's going to be rookie Fermin Aldeguer. Okay, Aussie riders in Moto3 and Moto2 and Jack Miller, of course. Jack did P11 in the race today, which is just okay. That's the maximum that's possible. In a race where Fabio Quartararo finished 6th, he finished 11. That's just the best possible thing to do. Senna AGS in Moto2 is struggling. Yesterday struggling, this morning struggling, qualifying struggling, P23. Difficult situation for him. If he finds something overnight, from P23 in the Moto2 you can make it probably to P10 or something, but without any real drama. That's the best possible that is there. Moto3, Joao Kelso 11. Not as strong as we've seen him last couple of races, but he's a very, very experienced Moto3 rider by now. And with 2 long straights, where you position yourself, how you use the slipstream, where you make the lap time, where you stay calm, is something he's normally quite good at. So from P11, you can win these races and you can lose them, but it's not like an impossible position at the start. You just have to be clever. Jacob Roulstone, doesn't matter if he's clever, he is very unfortunate. He was yesterday fast enough to be straight into Q2, but he did it with an okay lap time, and then he had a little crash. Well, the little crash turned out to be a little bit painful, so apparently he has a fracture in his left hand. He's not going to ride this weekend, and that's really, really bad news for a young rider that is actually still looking for a ride for next year. So also for timing-wise, bad shit. That's it. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. I look forward to tomorrow's race and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching.